Hi guys, welcome to the Church Split. My name is Will, and this is a different video than normal. Today, I wanted to tell you that you can pre-order this right here, Crushing the Great Serpent, Did God Punish Jesus? This is a book on the Atonement that I've been working on and pouring over for the past 3 years. You can find a link in the description below and in the comments pinned up below that you can just click down there. It'll take you to my Square site, and you can pre-order a signed copy from me, and you will get it before the release date. Now, if you order up to like the last week and a half to the release date, just letting you know that it might be here a little after that. But I will keep the Square site up. You can order from me directly. That actually does make more of a profit for myself. It actually helps me more. But also, I understand convenience, and you'll be able to order it on Amazon. And the official published release of my book will be on October 31st, 2024. In other words, it'll be on not Halloween, but Reformation Day. That's right. You can reform your atonement view on Reformation Day, and you can get this for all your Reformed friends also on Reformation Day, and you can get it for all your friends who are on the fence who are not Reformed on Reformation Day. It'll be great, and it'll be a lot of fun. So anyway, the reason you'll notice a few things, one, I did self-publish this book, and it's not because I couldn't send it to a publisher. Actually, I had some connections at publishers, and people told me they could probably get in there real nice and easy, but I have talked to published authors, some scholars and some pastors, and people have done both routes, like literally a scholar who self-published and has done the traditional publishing. And I was given mixed responses on what people thought was best. But I had heard from a few scholars that they kind of wish that they just self-published entirely, because then they're in more control of what they have. And that's kind of what I wanted. It's my love child. And also I want to keep the book in its original form. I did not want to go back and forth with the publisher, changing different things, augmenting it to be maybe more palatable, where they want me to make a stronger statement there, or maybe a weaker statement there, and rearrange things there, remove that there. I didn't want to do that, because I've really, all the things that are in the book, I am happy with where they're at. And I kind of want to keep them with where they're at. The only thing I would have done is I actually would have added more to the book in certain parts, but that would have gone against the entire point of the book on why I wrote it. So just want to make sure that we are clear on that. Now, what is this book? This book, if you're looking for the most academically written book on the planet, you are not in the right place. That's not what the book is for. But the book is not also for it's not intended to be this unprofessional release of something that's just kind of half-baked either. What this book is, its intention is to marry what the Academy has talked about when it comes to the atonement theories and penal substitution and alternative views with the pew. Because one of the biggest problems I noticed during my atonement studies was that there was no particular tome that I could send somebody to, one book that seemed to tackle the main issues of penal substitutionary atonement, and while simultaneously presenting a viable view for the masses. Because a lot of times when I read anything about the atonement, it was very technical, or I had to do an entire study through Old Testament sacrifices, or I had to go through an entire study on the incarnation, and then I had to go through an entire study on the early church fathers, and I had to go through a whole study on the words propitiation. And I was like, this is really complicated for people who are the everyman. So the guy who's an engineer, who has 6 kids at home and is an elder at his church, but he wants to study this, but he doesn't have the time to study 400 things on this. And I realized that was an area that I could fill. And it was something I was passionate about, because for me, once I understood the atonement better, or at least I think I understand it better now, I finally saw Jesus I describe it from the difference of VHS, thinking VHS was good on penal substitution, and then changing it to a more classical view, and now seeing it all in HD. It really did change my life. I will honestly say I spiritually grew from this study, and I was able to pour it into the pages of this book. And it's something that I'm passionate about. It's something I absolutely love. I think the Atonement Study is now my favorite study I've ever done, obviously, because I wrote a book on it. I wouldn't write a book on it if I didn't find it very fascinating. I understand that it's not everyone's obsession. And I am also very cool if you disagree and you still hold the penal substitution at the end of the book. And I make that very clear. However, I do make some very strong points and very strong remarks, but I also am very okay with people disagreeing with me on this particular topic, because even though I strongly disagree with penal substitution, I also know why people hold to it, and the linchpins, and how hard it was for me to eventually, face the music, so to speak. Now, just so everyone knows my journey on this, I tell it in the book. And it started essentially with my understanding of Augustinian original sin, and Augustinian original sin fell apart. And then later on, the more I thought about Augustinian original sin, I started realizing it created some serious problems for my atonement theory. So I would encourage you all to read the book and read the footnotes as well. There's a lot of footnotes. I make a lot of remarks in the footnotes that didn't necessarily flow with the rest of the chapter, but I wanted to make sure there was record somewhere else. My acknowledgement section, I have a lot of people acknowledge just because I don't think it'd be right for my very first book for me not to acknowledge some of the influential people in my life. I want them to know that they're loved and that I see them and I appreciate all the pouring that they've done into me and me into them and that sort of thing. It's a very personal work in the sense that is personal to me. It helped me grow. It helped me become more like Christ. And I also think that it challenges a very important topic. It goes against what is often preached in the church, is saying in the church and taught in the church. And it challenges it in a way that is meant to be biblical, philosophical, and also historical. And the reason why also I think it's important that people read this book is that even if you still hold to penal substitution, it can give you a good reason to accept another view, even though you might not hold to that view. But you can present that view to somebody who might be struggling. Because some people, when they view Jesus dying for our sins, they have a penal substitutionary view, they start getting some serious hangups in their relationship with the Lord and start really, really questioning some things. And some people I know have left the faith all because of penal substitution. And it grieves my heart. My heart is honestly that all people come to know Jesus Christ, no matter your theological views. Yes, even some of my pet topics, a lot of people know here that I am not a Calvinist and I pick at it a lot. But it's also because even though I might find certain theologies harmful, but in the end, I just want people to know Jesus. So if the Calvinism is what brought you to Jesus and that's where you're sold, I want you to know Jesus rather than not know Jesus. And so whether someone rejects or accepts penal substitution, I just want them to know Jesus. And I want them to see Jesus for who he is and who he says he is. And I think the classical view is the best view to see Jesus for whom he really is. Now, it doesn't mean that I think I am the orator of all truth. It doesn't mean I think that every single thing I've ever said or ever thought is infallible and I can never be wrong on anything. But I do think this book is well researched and it presents this in a way that is readable, that a lot of people can relate to, that it marries a lot of what the Academy talks about and tries to bring it into simpler terms while also being technical as well. So I think it's going to, my goal was that people who are more academic would enjoy the read and learn from it, but people who are also lay people would be able to read it easily while also reading some parts that are a little technical that will challenge them to go a little bit deeper. So I'm trying to do two things in that book, and I have sent it to PhDs, and I sent it to pastors, and I sent it to lay people, and they have all read it, and I've gotten nothing but glowing feedback saying that it's very well written, that I was told by one person that it knocked down all the pillars that they think I needed to knock down, and that they don't know how someone could read it and not still hold penal substitution, which I thought was a huge compliment. Also was a little intimidating. But then also I heard from other scholars and other people who are in this field that said that it is so well written that it's very compelling as well. And not only do I make a compelling case, but also it is just a pleasant read, which was my goal, because I don't consider myself a very good writer, oddly enough. So I poured over it for 3 years, really just trying to make sure it was well written and well communicated. And I actually can say at the end of it, I can now read it. And normally when I read my work, I go, ugh, I don't really like it. I read this and I go, wow, actually, I really am proud of this. There's only one chapter I wish I could have gone on for a lot longer, which was about the new covenant, but it is in there. And I think if anyone wants to read more on that, they could read Gorman for now. But anyway, guys, this is my official announcement. You can pre-order Crushing the Great Serpent, Did God Punish Jesus? And I will be shipping those out to you. And even after this book goes live on Amazon, you can still order from me directly, and they will come signed to you, but they will just probably get to you longer than it will take from Amazon. So it's whether or not you want to wait for that, because I first have to ship it for myself, and then I have to ship it to you. So it takes a little bit longer if you do it that way, but I will make more of a profit that way. And also you'll get a signed copy of a little personal note, which is kind of cool, because even though many of you who are watching this video know who I am. I don't know who all of you are. And I just want you guys to know that I really do appreciate all the support that you give. Please get this book into other people's hands if you think it'll be helpful to them. If you recommend me to channels I have on to interview for the book, I'd love to do that. Just whatever it is. But guys, I am very thankful for all the support of not just people watching my content, but also purchasing a book and taking it seriously and actually thinking that I have something to say about something that you might find important enough to actually listen. And I want you guys to know, nothing in that book is original to me. I compiled a lot of information. I once heard Dr. Michael Heiser say that none of his views are original to him, but that he's a compiler of the view and then issues them in a simple book that makes it compelling and kind of just takes all these broad views and kind of funnels them into one. And that's kind of what I tried to do with this. I tried to take the vast school of Atonement Study and put it into a volume that was comprehensive but also left more on the table if somebody wanted to go deeper, but also got all the major questions answered who might need them answered. So we'll see how it goes. Let me know what you think about it. If you pre-order this book, please leave me a 5-star review on Amazon.com if you think that it is worth 5 stars. But if not, please don't review bomb this thing. I would actually like this to be a decent book. So, but give me positive feedback or negative feedback. If you feel like there's something wrong, you can always email me at thechurchsplit@gmail.com and we can have a conversation. But anyway, guys, you can pre-order right now, Crushing the Great Serpent, Did God Punish Jesus? And I really do think that this book will be beneficial for so many people. So please spread the word, order your own copy, and I look forward to seeing you guys in future episodes of The Church Split. So take care and God bless.